Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MLE Rocket League, brought to you by APM Music. I am Staged, and here with me is the wonderful Luke _, and we are going to be bringing you some awesome Master League action tonight. How are you doing, Luke?
I'm doing good. I'm actually really excited because, I'm on the Flames PL team, so watching their Master League team be playing and, kind of watching them is just going to be really exciting for me. But let's just say they don't have an easy matchup for this week on stream as they're going to be playing the Bears Master League team.
The Bears have been on an absolute tear this season. If my data is correct, they have, let me take a look at it, I just lost the record, 13-7 so far this season. The Flames have been having a little bit tougher of a season. Maybe you want to talk about that since you're working with them?
Yeah, it's been hard for them. They haven't been able to play their top duel once this season. They were supposed to in week 2, but they ended up having their reserve having to fill in for one of their stars who was not able to make it. And the same happened tonight. They had one of their other starters sub in for their top player, which would be T-Man for the Flames. So he will not be playing tonight, as the lineup for the Flames will be HM Foster and Static Cat, who actually, this will be his first time on the MLE stream. Huge shout out to him. He's going to be, hopefully he'll make a show for us tonight. And the Bears will be going with OH Jonassy and Tag. Tag actually being the reserve for this lineup, having to fill in for Water. So it's going to be intriguing to see how these two lower level players will fill in for the stars for each team.
Now, as I understand it as well, this is not only Static's stream premiere, but this is his entire MLE premiere. And looking at Jonesy, I believe, if I'm correct, that this is his second MLE match ever? So, if my data is correct there, we're going to have a lot of very green, very untested in this environment players that are going to be providing a lot of variables, and I can't wait to see the action happen.
Oh, and for sure. And I think a big challenge is that the Flames, while they may not have Team MV playing in this, they're still going to be a very interesting matchup because Jonassy has never really been the offensive or defensive catalyst for this team. He's like the more, I'm going to be bugging you. He leads his team in demos, he leads his team in shots. He's going to be bringing the pressure over and over again, just trying to set his teammate, which is why Water was actually number 8 on the MVPR ratings with a 6.14, but he would not be playing tonight. He was supposed to be, had to opt out and let Tag team tag along. We're playing Smith there, but now we're gonna have to see how Tag will be able to play with Jonassy and seeing if he'll be able to fill in those needs to really finish what Jonassy does on the offensive end.
Well, Luke, it looks like they're already doing great because Jonesy is going to take that pass, steal it out of the midfield, and dunk it for the first goal. That's going to be looking really good for the Bears.
And that's definitely the start you want. I mean, the Bears, it's going to really, if you're the Flames, the main thing you're going to want to do is stop the midfield presence from Jonassy, because Jonassy is going to want to be bumping. He's going to be causing havoc and causing panic from the side of the Flames. So if you want to do that, try and take him out of the places. It might work here. Draw the target, and Bears get away with the free one.
Jonesy with the air dribble, stolen by HM Foster. Going to be sent down to the midfield for Tag to pick up. Tag back into the Flames corner, giving possession to Static Cat. Static trying to make a statement on his first game at MLE. Sending that deep to the backboard. And gonna have to play defense for a moment. Bar down, Tag's gonna take it.
And that's great placement. Reads the little bit of panic from HM Foster when Jonesy makes his presence. That's what we're saying when Jonesy kind of being the catalyst for setups. He's been the one who's bringing on that initial challenge, and he pulls out that last defender and Tag with great placement into the upper 90.
With that, they're going to be moving on to the third goal. Oh no, a bit of a miscommunication is going to give a open net kickoff goal for Jonesy, giving them 3-0.
Seems like a little bit of lag issues with HM Foster. Ends up not being able to get to the kickoff, as that's going to be a really big one. Going down by 3 with the first minute not even done. And it's really just showing the pressure from the Bears is going to start mounting.
Foster taking the kickoff well. Static Cat's not moving. Is there something going on there? Foster's going to try and play this 1-on-2, and he is taking the tempo, looking to control it out in the midfield. Tag picking it up. Oh no, Static has lost connection, but the show must go on. Tag looking to dish to himself, not able to put that quite into the net. He's going to instead shadow HM Foster. Tag takes it in the midfield, slows it down, waiting for a backup from his teammate, not going to spot it, so instead just going to take it nice and easy in the midfield, buying time. You've got a 3-goal advantage. There's no need to rush it.
And I'm starting to really love this, it's kind of this respect by the Bears. They're kind of, and this is what makes MLE such a great league. It's that kind of support of, like, wanting to, promotes, like, increasing of skill level. Everyone wants to improve as a player, and the Bears are like, we're not going to punish you for something that happened that's beyond your control. We're going to play like a gentleman's game, and we already got that kickoff goal already basically from the lag, so it's like we don't need to do any more than that.
And I guess the thing to think about, too, is in MLE, everything matters. We keep all of the stats, even down to the demos. So it is pretty important to take these goals, but there's something that's going to leave a sinking feeling in your stomach if you take a goal like that when it's in a 1-on-2.
And it's going to be very intriguing to see what happens with the Flames here. Static is going to be maybe able to join back, or will they have to get us reserve to play for him? And so far, it's just going to seem like the Bears are just going to use this to their advantage, making the most of this 2-1 opportunity. And definitely for the Flames, this is not the start you're wanting.
Tag's going to take that one off the roll in the corner, just able to drift it on in. Jonesy coming out of the side, wants to pad his own stats too. I approve of this decision.
And I definitely agree. When you get to the end of the season, especially with this being a non-division matchup, if both these teams who are not leading their division currently end up getting second, it's going to come down to wild card, and it all comes down to goal differential if the game or series matchups are tied. So it's all going to come down to that in that regard, and the Flames now are going to be in a bigger hole to see how they come back.
So Luke, I've got some good news. It looks like Static Cat is back, and the teams will be evenly matched. And with that revelation, Jonesy will bar that one in, bounce around on the goal line, and the unfortunate own goal on the attempt to save.
I mean, HM Foster seems like he still has that 1v2 mentality, he's getting a little panicky, trying to rush touches that he does not have the best ability to read, and as a result, the Bears are just really playing with their food and making the most of this Flames roster.
But hey, if you're the Flames, you've got to think about the next game. You've got to understand this kind of thing happens. Every game counts. You're down 1. We can still take this back. You just got to reset. You can't get thrown off guard. You can't get tilted.
For sure, and I think, it's all going to come down to how Static does, because when you come back from a lag situation, I had a situation like this a couple seasons ago, and when they came back, they actually ended up winning that game. It's this mentality of, are the Bears going to really take their foot off the pedal and allow the Flames to really get anything going? And so far, they haven't shown any relentlessness at all, and they're just keep bringing on pressure, and it's really going to come down to which player on the Flames is going to start taking the offense into their own hands.
There is absolutely no sign of weakness in the Bears. Static Cat going to be dribbling out past one, looks to pass it infield, but Jonesy has the perfect read on that. Is going to clear it to midfield, take it out, looks to get it past Static, and Static will challenge appropriately and move to the open net. First goal of the series for the Flames will go to Static Cat.
I mean, they said, hey, if we're going down and there's issues, let's at least get a little trip to Brazil while we're at it. To get 1 goal back, definitely something to do. Wanting to lower this goal differential as Static gets a great play, reads out the last defender, and gets a great punish at the other side.
I think you're right. They say if they're going to go down, they're going to go down in flames. Static up again, looking for the shot, sneaks it by. That will be a second goal to break the Brazil.
And that's a great read from Sack. Realizes that Jonesy's going high on the backboard and decides to drop it right beneath. And that's great placement. Bring your opponents in, punishing them for their overcommit.
Lining up on the kickoff. This is so important for the Flames, not even just for the opportunity of winning this, but to close that goal differential, and also just to start getting the download. You can't figure out where your opponent's weak if you can't play the game. And with that, even if they lose this game in particular, starting to put the goals on, starting to realize how they can solve the puzzle of the Bears is going to be super important for both HM Foster and Static Cat. Static Cat's going to be taking this one downfield now. He's in a one-on-one situation after a dual demo. Looks for the bump play, not going to find it. This is now Jonesy getting challenged early by Foster. The ball is stuck in Bears territory, and it's not leaving anytime soon.
And I mean, this is great play from the Bears. They're really, and the Flames, I mean, the Flames are really starting to punish on this kind of passive play. You know, when you get that lead, you kind of want to be a little more passive so you don't give it up. And instead, when they start doing that, they're now allowing the Flames to get more offensive opportunities. And this is a great setup play. Tag not able to get the pinch off the crossbar that he was hoping for. And Sadcat able to put it away for his own hat trick.
Those crossbar defends are so difficult because if you're just a second early or a fraction of a second late, what was going to be an amazing clear and tip away is now just pancaking it against your backboard for the opponent team to clear, or to score on. Sadcat off the corner again, looking to set himself up. That's going to be on target. 4 goals for Sadcat. What looked like an insurmountable situation may now be within striking distance.
And even if they end up losing this mentality that Sadcat now has saying, hey, I'm not going to let this lag situation and getting kicked from the server really hold me back. He's really showing that it's really motivated him and ignite this inner flame inside of him to really step up as the offensive catalyst. And now they lower it down to 3 goals. Definitely help with that goal differential. They might get another one with 7 seconds to go.
Foster getting what I like to call the barbecue goal, slow and low from downtown, but that 2-goal differential now is going to taste oh so sweet.
Oh, so sweet for sure. And I mean, if you're the Flames, the one thing you didn't want to do was give up a ton of goal differential, which would end up hurting you on the record, even if you ended up winning this series. The Bears will unfortunately get one back on the other end as Tag gets a great read from the sidewall.
A stupendous effort by Tag, just moving up, getting an absolute beam from midfield to put that one away and answer back the relentless aggression we've seen from the Flames. Going to be closing this one out. It is going to be the first game in favor of the Bears, regardless of how this ball lands. But I'd say that the end of that game was incredibly important just because it really gives some kind of motivation, some kind of answer. It tells both of these teams, it tells the Flames and it tells the Bears that this is not a one-sided affair.
And for sure, you know, right now, even though they did get scored on last, the momentum is all in the side of the Flames. Because ever since they went down 7-0, they outscored the Bears 5-1. And the shot differential went from around 13 to like 4 to 13 to 8. I mean, the amount, it's just the presence of the Flames just really got on the side of the Bears, especially from Jonesy. And as I said, you know, their goal is to make him panic, make him not have that space where he can create opportunities for Tag, who had a great game on offense as well. And the Flames, especially Sadcat, really proving that they know what to do in order to beat this Bears lineup.
We were talking about Sadcat being a real wild card, being something that's going to change the game, and we're seeing it right now. Flames have been having a rough season in Master League, but this could be their gateway forward. Taking a game like this against the Bears, against a well-esteemed Master League team who's got a positive record. And now, if you're able to pull this out, suddenly there's a lot of respect, there's a lot of fear for your team and everyone else in the league.
And, you know, the main mentality you have to think is the Flames have never had their top line play together in a match, which are T-Man and Sadcat. So Sadcat, you know, really showing that, hey, I'm a star player. I don't need my main support, you know, to help me here, as he might get a great center here to try and opening the scoring. But, you know, Sadcat has really been that offensive catalyst for this Flames lineup, and he shows it again once here.
A beautiful extra touch, and then look at the shot from HM Foster. That is the kind of momentum that really takes heads-up play and car control to get out of basically running perpendicular to the ball.
For sure, and you know, this just shows a knowledge of hitbox, because, you know, when you're using an Octane/Fennec hitbox, you know that the most power will come from the front, no matter what. And he ends up getting a perfect read, especially with that air roll at the end. And they get a huge early goal lead as the Bears now trying to strike.
Jonesy looking to answer, a lot of bobbling and scrumming in front of the net, and unfortunately he's not going to be able to put out the equalizer. Has to defend off his own backward. A beautiful shadowing of the ball in the air. Even if Sadcat would have gotten to it, there was no shot opportunity because Jonesy was the keeper. However, Tag is going to put this one away over top the defender.
Seems like HM Foster got a little caught on where the post was, as he does get a little messed up in net, and Tag kind of playing with his food, saying, I don't want to make sure you can recover for this, so I'm going to flick it high so it goes off the crossbar. And Tag just showing again his striking capabilities are unmatched.
Jonesy looking to move ahead, going to be trying to center this one out. Tag playing back, unfortunately getting beat. The open net. Foster doing a little bit of styling because he knows that ball is unsavable.
And again, this is, Jonesy trying to punish and being that aggressor and tagging him in a little bit too much faith there. He rotates up a little too far. HM Foster just takes it the other way with a great counterattack to re-give him the lead.
And that comes down to mostly a mechanical issue and some dealing with reflexes. But Static Cat's going to try and widen this lead. He's going to find another open net. Takes his own rebound off the backboard and puts it away.
And they're doing exactly what we were hoping they would go for. Don't let Jonesy get these touches to the midfield. Don't let him set up his teammate. And Tag kind of rotating up a little too far again. And they end up having an open opportunity that Sack punishes and gives them now a 2-goal lead.
I think what we need to see out of the Bears now is a little bit more respect. They got away with a lot in the first game, especially off the disconnect, and especially off the early game. But now you've really got to show some respect to the Flames, and they're going to punish you every single time you over-rotate, every single time you get caught out of position, because they've got the speed and the rotations that they need to put this one away.
And this makes you think, Sage, when you have that really big lead, especially in game one, they were up 7 to nothing at one point. Do you think that they took their foot a bit too far off the gas, and now they're just really letting the Flames do whatever they want? So they almost get another one here, and the pressure just continues for this Flames lineup.
I like to think of it as a download. I like to think of it as one team's going to get the read on the other, and when you're ahead, when you're scoring all of those goals, you're giving a lot of information, and if you're on the Bears, you're not going to see a whole lot of what the Flames are capable of until the very end of that game. And it gets really overwhelming because you're like, well, we're still ahead, we're still winning, we ain't got to think about what they're doing. But now the Bears got to give them that respect. They got to actually start reading this. They got to lose that 50-50 unfortunate, trying to steal it away, and instead Sadik, playing so defensive, just redirects it into the net, using Tag's aggression against him.
And that's a great job by Sack. He ends up looking around and seeing where his opponents are. He knows that Jonesy's stuck in this, so he's assuming that Tag's going to come from one direction to counter him. And he says, I see where you're coming, so my goal is now to play off your touch. And Tag is a little too panicky and just hits it right into the defender. But they finally get one back with 3 minutes to go.
That was a very, very good demolition on Sadik to give the time that Jonesy needed. They recognize that Foster is way on the other end of the field. Sadik's the only man back. You get a 2-on-0 situation as soon as you manage to demo Sadik.
And now, you get down to this 3-minute situation. Now it's down to the Flames. We haven't really seen them with a lead so far and see how they're going to manage it. Sack a little awkward again. Actually has another disconnect, it looks like, and the Bears might have a chance to punish.
Oh no, we're going to see Tag move this one into the net. 2-goal differential, but so unfortunate. You can't do anything when you're dealing with these latency and connection issues. It's just part of the adaptability you've got to have as a strong Rocket League player.
For
Unfortunately.
Sure. And it just seems like we're going to need to see HM Foster take a bit more of a step on the defense. That lovely Sack is back. Looks like he just had one minor issue, and he is able to not disconnect this time. And now they're going to try and keep this pressure. They lose a goal in a very unfortunate manner, but now it just needs to show them that they can't get a little too passive now, especially with these lag issues, possibilities occurring.
We're starting to see some very breakneck passes from Jonesy and Tag. Jonesy looking for the solo play, instead going to dish it out to Tag. Tag puts the dunk in, but Jonesy with the crazy fly-in double touch, almost looking for the ground pinch.
And that's a great play. He not only gets the double tap, trying to get the goal, he doesn't get it, but it's again this presence that he has. He gets the respect of the defense in order to get it off the backboard, and as a result, he also gets Sack, who's a little cautious in net, and bumps him out of the play so he can't even get that follow-up save.
I think that previous one was a Player of the Week opportunity, but unfortunately, the fly is going to be tipped backwards. Good defensive effort by Jonesy here to keep it out of the back of the net. But they've got to scramble now to get the ball cleared away. Tag way out of position. Jonesy scrumming it up, going to move it up the right side. Has a shot opportunity, looks for the musty. not going to be able to get that one on target. Static Cat dribbling downfield, trying to beat, not quite around the keeper. Tag gonna hold on to this one, trying to get it past a lot of midfield play. It is stuck in the Bears side once again. The goal opportunity, and yes, Static will take it.
You can just see the respect all these players have. Every player, both teammates and players from each side are like respecting, saying, show me what you can do, and we're gonna just try and counter you, show you what we can do on the other in a 2v1 situation. And right there, Tag takes himself out of the play. HM Foster, instead of going for a shot, goes for the play off the backboard, trying to pull that Jonas-y mentality that we saw from him throughout the series, and he gets a beautiful step forward Static in order to regain the lead to 2.
Speaking of Jonesy going bodily after that kickoff to open the door for Tag. Jonesy's going to try and move this into the center now. Not on target, but forcing the defense, forcing the zone to split. Tag contesting on the wall. They're not going to have any follow-up, though. Jonesy has to defend this in his own backfield. The Bears moving it out of their territory. Static staying with it, shadowing on that, stopping Tag from getting a center, following it as well into the air on the midfield, and a demo from Foster is going to give a little bit of time to control.
Oh, what a great passing play. You see that Static saying, oh, I can try and dribble this, but he ends up seeing HM Foster get the mid boost and saying, oh, I'm going to trust my teammate to get this, and he catches Tag right out of position, rotating a bit too far up the field, and we're starting to see it a bit more, the Bears getting caught in an awkward place on the defensive side of the field.
This is definitely just some really pristine passing, really pristine positioning by both of these teams, but right now it is favoring the Flames as they're getting some of these just extended defense opportunities for counterattack. Static's going to be trying to move it past again, beats one, but Jonesy is rotating back, going to get the demo as well. That's going to open the door for HM Foster. Jonesy on the back wall, going to be trying to air dribble this one away. The boost is gone. He's trying with his last bit of lifeline, the last bit of gas. Instead, Static gets the opportunity for the shot. Tag racing to save it, burns all of the boost.
And now you see that, the Bears getting a little panicky. Jonas-y, this is the first time we haven't really seen much aggression from him. He gets a bump here, but he's been really playing out of his comfort zone, having to be more of a defensive role that he wants to. And I think that's what's really been plaguing him this game. There's still this mentality that they're in this 2v1 situation where he doesn't have to do that much on offense. But I feel like if the Bears want to come back in this series, they're going to need to see Jonas-y do a little bit more on the midfield.
I definitely agree with that. We've been seeing two different halves to this game, really. The first half was the Bears were playing like a completely different team from the first game. And the second half, the Bears start giving a lot more respect, playing a lot more defensive, but that means that Jonesy feels a little bit alienated from his usual playstyle. So I think that they got to find that happy medium, and that's what we're going to be looking for in the near future.
I think it's kind of like Tag and Jonas-y don't know their roles enough. It feels like Tag wants to do what Jonas-y does, and Jonas is trying to respect that. The times where Tag is playing passive and back, Jonas-y's kind of like, oh, I'm respecting it for you. I'm going to let you do it, not let myself do it. And I think that kind of communication and chemistry issue is giving the Flames this extra space to set up and do what it wants, because we're seeing Static and HM Foster punish the Bears time and time again with this midfield plays.
You said that Tag was a reserve. Do you think that because of that, and not saying that there's like a mechanical issue, but just the chemistry and the time put together in MLE games, in scrims, in practice, do you think that that's something that actually has an effect? Or is it just you keep the comms open, you keep talking, and you hope things work out?
When you go into that mentality of going into a series with a reserve, because I've played with reserves and I've played as a reserve before, you have to have that mentality of, is that, hey, they're like another player, and I'm going to do my best to support them and help them play their best. And Jonas-y really has been doing that. He really, Tag played amazingly. He had 3 goals, 4 saves. I mean, he played a great role, but while doing that, Jonas-y really alienated himself from the game and really punished them by making it really more of a 1v2 to help the Flames out.
Static's going to be trying to start this one off. Instead, Foster getting a little bit of interference on the play and going to buy a little bit of time for the Bears to get back into position. Tag playing keepy-uppy on the side. Going to be letting Static Cat get in front of him. Static shadowing so well, but getting confused and a little bit lost on the corner. And no scoring opportunity will be had. The Flames collectively moving out of their backfield. The demo, but Jonesy challenging early. That's going to be yet another barbecue goal.
And that's what we want to see from Jonesy, this midfield presence. He realized HM Foster, assuming he has way more time based on what happened last game. And Jonesy says, no, I'm seeing that you're taking your time to dribble it a lot more in my half. I'm just going to cut you off and make you think that I'm coming. Because this mentality of someone rushing you will bring out more panic on the offense. And because of the respect that Jonesy has, he gets another one.
No!
Great read. You know, the Bears really making a punch at the start of this game 3.
That is a play of the week without a doubt. Jonesy getting the follow-up, getting the dunk off of the defense. My word, how do you do that?
And that's the mentality we need to see from Jonesy. Jonesy, we want him to be the aggressor. We want him to make tag be a support. Don't make it be vice versa. Don't take yourself out of the game. And you're really going to help yourself team. And I think after this game too, Jonesy realized that. I think the car switch really showed that mentality change. And so far, they're showing at the start of this game 3.
The Bears look like they were in the form of their first game all over again. Tag popping it up, not going to find the goal yet, but stretching the defense once again. Jonesy in position, almost getting that goal, just barely off the post on the pinch. Sadik going to get a huge clear and a lot of opportunity. Jonesy has to play the risky save off of his own backboard.
And I like this rushing. He's really making a lot more panicky touches from the Flames. You see how they're not controlling it at the midfield anymore. This is all because of Jonesy. Him giving this pressure and sense of attack is making the Flames panic a lot more their touches and not think about what they're doing. And that is the best way to make an offense, is they might get a third here.
Absolutely, the open net. You take the beaten midfield. You've got one who you burned all the way in your backfield, and there you go. That is an extra goal for the differential and for the stat board.
And that's a great recovery from Tag. When you get those aerial touches, a lot of players don't expect that follow-up. And Tag just says, let me show you my mechanical ability and why I should not be reserving a starter on a team. And he punishes the Flames once again.
Jonesy up with the full boost. He's going to take that one in, and airmail delivered for the 4th goal of this game.
And right now, it is just hunting season for the Bears. I mean, that's a great read if you're Jonas. He gets a perfect air roll so he doesn't hit too hard. And gets a great drop down to pull the last defender out of net. And I mean, there's no saving that. That's just a great play from Jonesy.
Catching it right off the kickoff, getting the full boost, getting the momentum that you need. That is so difficult. But I think we're going to see the Flames answer. It's Sadik Cat taking the lob pass from Foster and dunking it away.
And that's a great read from Foster. Instead of, rotating back, he realizes, hey, Tag's last man, so if I just read this, it's going to give a perfect step. And he reads where Tag's hitting the ball, gives a great counter, and leaves it perfectly for Sack to finish.
Once again, Tag with another kickoff goal. This is just the highest scoring affair. All of the games between these two teams have been just these torrents, these monsoons of goals.
And it just feels like the pace and mentality of this game has just gone up to another tier, as every player is just playing really aggressive, trying to get as fast of a touch as possible, and the Bears are just benefiting much more from it as Flames trying to get another kickoff goal.
This Master League play is just so incredibly aggressive, so fast-paced. It feels like there's no room for defense. Sadik's going to try and move this one past. Foster trying to take the angle, but a little bit of miscommunication. That's going to be a goal opportunity for Foster. Will he take it? The steal away by Tag out of nowhere. Tag going to take it downfield, looking for an opportunity. Going to be stalled and saved by Foster and move back to the midfield. A lot of just the pressure is going neither way. This is just turning down to midfield shots and big clears. Jonesy looking for it in the air, not gonna be there, and now the net's open with the demo. Will Foster find the angle? Yes!
I love this sacrifice play by Sack. This is just player awareness. He sees Tag as the guy's rotating back and would cut HM Foster from getting a shot. He says, you know what? If I cut off his momentum and take him out of the play, this is going to be an open play, and that's just player awareness, and it just shows the level of mentality and awareness that Sadik Cat has.
Speaking of that, they've got to have a lot more of that mentality and awareness if they're going to close this game and take game 3. Jonesy pushing it downfield, chased by Foster, but that's right in front of the Flames net. Bears still have the opportunity, still have the pressure, still have the set to the teammate, and Jonesy gonna put it away. The left side of the net completely undefended.
And this just shows how the Bears have just been outpacing the Flames this game. Just panic and unawareness from the Flames. They're just getting stuck, and they're like, I have to watch to see what you do and just hope I hit the ball. Where the Bears have just been controlling the pace time and time again, and it all starts on the kickoff because they've been dominating the kickoffs where they're just starting with the pressure.
I'm pretty sure that there's a invisible third man on the Flames team right now, and or on the Bears team, I'm sorry, and I think that's Smokey the Bear, because we're having a lot of issue with putting the Flames out right now. But the Bears just really taking so much control of this game. They're going to stop that goal attempt. We're going to see Jonesy in the corner, waiting for Sadic's touch. He's going to get beat, but Tag is in the backfield, a little too slow. Foster's going to take that one away and get a closer, but there's still a long way for the Flames to go.
That's a great use of the wall there. Gets the first touch off and saves his flip a little late just to pull that last defender off the corner wall and leaves it perfectly for H.M. Foster. Gets a great read into the bottom right of the net.
Jonesy looking to take control, but he's got no boost, taking the side orb instead. That's going to be an opportunity for the Flames. The deep shot off the crossbar, and Foster missing the meat of the ball, and that's going to get knocked away. Jonesy looking for the double. He gets it! 7th goal of this game.
I mean, is this man just making a highlight reel? Like, honestly, this man has made countless plays. And I said, last game, like, he was so quiet and we want to see more from him on offense. How about this? 5 for 5 on shooting. And he's probably had 3 highlight reel goals that could be nominated for Play of the Week right now.
Well, one of the things you got to think about is, what do Bears do during the winter? They hibernate. I think this is springtime for Jonesy. He's coming out of hibernation and just really waking up, really bringing out the highlight reel shots.
Yes, and I mean, the Flames, they're really trying to battle their way back. They're punishing defensive errors from the Bears, who just constantly keep centering it for them. But it just feels like every time the Flames get a tiny bit of momentum, Jonesy just, shuts it down and just opens this scoring montage for the Bears.
Tag puts it downfield, gonna get one more goal. Just a beat in midfield is all it takes to put that one on target.
That's a great read from Tag. Realize the last defender's rushing him, just goes for a quick challenge and gets a wide open net opportunity that he punishes.
You play a lot of those aerial games, you rush the ball a little bit too much when your teammate in twos is doing the same thing. That's gonna leave a lot of open nets, that's gonna leave a lot of basically 50-50 opportunities where you've got to get to the ball first. There's no room for error when both of you are challenging the ball. Jonesy taking it down the right side, gonna try and widen the margin a little bit more before the game clock runs out in game 3. 3 seconds remaining. This is a resounding and commanding victory for the Bears.
And I just love Jonasy's kind of mentality. His presence is just suffocating for a defense, because when you get the ball out of your half, you want to have the mentality, okay, we have time to regroup and reset, but Jonesy just never gives that opportunity. He's constantly bringing pressure and punishing this Flames lineup for just giving him just a little bit of space. He has highlight reel plays, and he's just really, and this is what I say again, he's that presence that's setting up for Tag, because we all act like Jonesy was good. Tag also had a big impact, 3 really impactful goals, whether on the kickoff or off of punishes. I mean, Jonesy is the setup, and really Tag is the igniter.
Well, speaking of highlight reel goals, I think we're going to take a quick look at some of the highlights that we have from that previous match. Just take a look right here. You see Jonesy coming out, getting that crazy dunk off the ceiling crease. And let's not even talk about how difficult that is to block in the first place.
And I mean, that's just a hard read, because Jonesy, he has the height advantage. And when you have that height advantage, as a defender, you're just praying you hit it away from your net where you can't punish it. But Jonesy just has that ability and skill level to read where the ball's going. I think having that closer up camera angle really helps. It allows you to control where you are in the field and where your car's rotated. And he's able to punish it again. He has great car positioning, great rotationing, and he ends up getting a great punish for a crucial lead, kind of extends the lead out of reach and kind of says, this game's over, we've taken the series back.
All right, we've got to see then here in Game 4 where this is going to go. We've got 2-1 in favor of the Bears, but every game matters. We go to 5 no matter what here at MLE. And this one's going to start off in the territory of the Bears, creeping back towards midfield, but Sadik locking that one back in, basically saying the ball's on a tether, and that tether is attached on the Bears side.
And I feel like, if you're the Flames, it's just you got to do what you did in Game 2. Make Jonesy a non-factor. Make Tag have to be the main aggressor. Because even though Tag has a good game, he doesn't want to be this solo act. That's Jonasy's role. That's not Tag's role. And if you're forcing Tag to do more work and making him having issues on the defensive end, you're going to be able to pull us out like you did in Game number 2. And, this is a big series deciding goal. If Bears win this game, they will take the series even though it is 5 games. Those series really come in handy at the end of the season.
I think I know what you're talking about, Luke. A wise man once said, 2v2s are basically a big set of 2 1v1s happening at the same time. Tag crossing that across the net, almost going to take the goal away, but not quite the right angle. But with those 2 1v1s at the same time, it means that a lot of the mechanical plays, a lot of if you can force one player to be overcommitted, then the other player's got to play back and wait for his turn at the 1v1. And if you put Tag in that situation, then Jonesy wants to jump the gun, and he wants to move forward, and he just doesn't have that opportunity if he wants to play safe.
And I think that's really going to be the catalyst on who really has this big offensive presence in this 4th game, because we're seeing it already. Jonas being a lot more quiet because of the presence that the Flames have had on offense, and especially at the midfield as he tries to get one here off the target.
What a boomer!
A major boomer off the mark. And, it just shows that the Flames are definitely getting ahead of the Bears, just like in Game number 2.
Tag going to be trying to move this one downfield once more, taking a great dribble with that, but getting challenged by Foster. Ball's going to stall in midfield, and Tag gets one more opportunity that's stolen away and read by Sadik. Fake on the corner, that's going to be on the goal line and just away. The score remains locked at 0-0, 2.5 minutes in.
I mean, this is definitely not what you're expecting from these two teams. Every game has just been high octane and speed and offensive presence. And I mean, it just shows that, one, the Flames and the Bears are being a little safer because, hey, if we lose a game, we're going to Game 5, especially if on the Bears side, where the Flames are like, hey, we just need to pick up the pace or else we're going to be out of this series. And it's definitely showing here as Tag's going to try and get the first goal.
Tag putting it away, sneaking that one around Foster. This is what I'm talking about, where it's just a little bit of that download complete. You get the read on the enemy team, and then you start seeing that, hey, Foster's going to go for that corner boost. I can take this shot.
And I feel like the Flames are relying too much on 2 players to stop 1 player on the Bears side. It's like you have to be able to win the 1v1s, as you said, when there are challenges coming, especially when it's a dribble or a wall play. And it seems like the Flames have been losing to the Bears so many times.
Bit of a double commit in the backfield. It's going to be a lot of time for Sadik. He's going to play it nice and slow out to Foster, and Foster chasing this one up to the wall, going to look for the center ball. There's no one there to pick it up. Knock, knock, knock. Nobody's answering the door, and now Jonesy going to try and take that package off the porch. Tag stealing this one out of the backfield, defending his wall. That's downfield on target, but it's going to be easily savable. Sadik chasing it down, knocking off the backboard. Another wall banger, and no conversion for Tag. Instead, he's off to the races, trying to slow this ball down before Sadik manages to put that one away. Jonesy stops it and looks for the reconversion once more, dribbles it around 1, tries to beat 2, but Sadik is there.
And again, it feels like the Bears are just punishing on these 1v2 situations, as luckily a double command, fortunate double command will end up working as Sadik's going to get the equalizer.
Very important goal there. This is a low-scoring game like we'd said, and I think it comes down to a lot of the respect finally being given. The first couple of games, these guys were feeling each other out. They were really trying to figure out, okay, well, what are the weaknesses we can play? What do we need to defend against? And now that you've got that figured out, now that you've got these teams properly scouted and these players understood, this is where the real Rocket League comes in, because you've got to play defense, you've got to get aggressive on the demos like that, and you've got to just recognize that there's nowhere on the field that is safe.
And it also comes down to that mentality of, when you're in this game 4 and game 5 situations, when it's series ending, you get a lot more careful and think a bit too much about what you're going to do. And the Bears have done a lot more, especially Jonas. He's been a lot quieter on offense, only has 2 shots this game, where last time he had about 8. And it just shows that they're being a little more cautious than they should be, even though they have the offensive capabilities.
Oh, Jonesy gonna take the set that Tag delivers him through the center and pummel it right on by Foster. Foster getting a little bit of a bump for his efforts as well.
I mean, Jonesy, man, he is just the offensive man. I mean, we know he's the highest salary in this log, being the only 16.5 in here, but he just shows time and time again he is the player to beat, and he's really showing why he is this offensive playmaker. He tries to get another montage page, and HM Foster bails the Flames out again.
Tag gonna take this one off his own backboard, looking for a possible flip reset on it. He's gonna come out a little bit too far behind. Sadik, one more opportunity for the equalizer. Foster comes in over the top after the demo, has to keep it up. He's not gonna do it, and that's game 4 in favor of the Bears.
And I gotta give it, to the Bears. This was a very interesting game. Again, we see Jonas get a little quiet, and we're gonna see, is this gonna happen like game 2 again? Are the Flames gonna be able to punish? But this time, Tag said, I know what I'm doing as a role player, and I know what I'm gonna do to help him be successful. And this time, it just felt like they were working more as a unit, where before, in the previous 3 games, they were working as a solo act.
All right, Luke, I'm gonna leverage your bias a little bit because I know you're with the Flames, and I gotta say, if you're their coach, if you're sitting there in the booth with them, just leaning over their shoulders, what is it that you're going to say to Sadik and HM Foster to let them take Game 5?
I think they just got to replicate more what they get to, and obviously that's what anyone would say, but it's it felt like they were controlling the midfield so much more in Game 2, and I think a lot of that was because of, the respect that the Bears gave them after Game 1 occurred with the disconnect. And now you're going into, every other game after, the Bears have dominated the midfield. They've been controlling the boost, they've been controlling the space and the momentum, and now it comes down to that the Flames are able to respond. And this is why I really want Sack to really make a statement on offense saying, hey, Jonas, you're not the only one who can do something. I'm going to show you I'm just as good as you are. And it's going to come down to whether they're able to do something, not just at the midfield, but more on controlling the pace and momentum of this last game.
Absolutely. And I think that if you really start forcing the Bears to give you respect again, or even to move out in a way that's more disrespectful, kind of like we saw them getting punished for in Game 2, then that's definitely a way that the Flames can take this 5th game. But they've got their work cut out for them. We've got 5 minutes of Rocket League, and we've already got a goal for the Bears, as Tag's just going to steal this return away.
And, this is just a little bit of panic from Sadik. You're in that game, you're already losing the series, and that kind of it sometimes can have a positive mentality on someone and a negative. They can tell us Sadik, his first time on stream, his first time, adjusting to this pressure, and might be getting a little bit to him as he has a really unfortunate mistouch on the defensive end.
It's not only his first time on stream, it's his first time in MLE. His first time probably playing in a competitive environment with HM Foster, and for that, he's doing a phenomenal job. We're going to see Jonesy pressuring the backfield, trying to dribble it around everybody. Tag taking the 50-50 to stop the counterattack, and he's going to go up trying to hold this one as well. In the backfield, HM Foster comes out, gets a huge touch, but Tag is there to save the day. Foster coming around, still trying to keep the ball in the Bears' territory. Once again, it's on a tether. Foster's gonna be there to pound it back into their corner. Jonesy trying to get the return, trying to dish it away, and it looks like they're gonna start taking control of the midfield. Shot on target, just over. Sadik's gonna pick this one up in his own backfield, a very, very awkward location to be. Back to their own corner, the Flames looking for an opportunity, both running away from the ball. Sadik taking it off the backboard, and now a beautiful fly-in from Foster leaves him committed, but with the opportunity of carrying this one away.
And you got to give it to the Bears. This is what I mean about this midfield and boost presence, is that a good example here is Sadik had the ability to clear it, but Tag gets the boost off and he keeps the pressure for the Bears in their half. It's something you don't notice as much, but it's that minor detail that keeps the Flames locked in. And it's just showing how the Bears are making more use of their offensive presence, because I say that Sadik with a great dribble.
that was a dirty pop and tiny little flick to close that one away. I don't know how you're supposed to read that, but Sadik making a statement there to get the equalizer.
Now, definitely, that last-second drift is something you never expect on a 1v1 because you can change the angle of attack just like that, and it works beautifully and pulls Tag out of position.
HM Foster with the dribble, dishing it back to Cat on the 50. Sadik is going to be moving this one in towards the midfield, going to back away from it, letting Foster take it in the last-second save. The beautiful race from Tag. Sadik trying to follow this one up still, crossing the net. Takes the boost away, going to try and interfere with the play. And the refs do get in the way because there's no interference. So Sadik is going to move this one into the midfield. Foster's not there to pick it up. Jonesy with the dribble out of his right side. And saved by Foster.
And the Bears, again, just picking up where they leave off in the previous plays. They're going to get another one here. Great passing play from Tag. And Jonesy just waiting. And it just goes again. This presence, they're making more use of their space on the offensive side of the field, where the Flames just feel like they're trapped and not able to do anything.
There's a lot of posturing going on from the Bears, from Jonesy and from Tag, where they're moving in, they're occupying spaces that feel too aggressive on the Flame side of the field, but then it just converts and closes in on a goal or something that you've got to really scramble and stretch your zone defense to be able to handle. Tag gonna try and set this one, running low on boost though, so instead he's just gonna buy the time for Jonesy to get back. Jonesy dishing it straight to HM Foster, and Foster trying to hold the aggression, instead getting stolen from, and now Tag looking for the opportunity but facing the wrong way, instead trying to dish it, and Foster's still there as this ever-present force of disruption.
And again, it just shows us Jonas is gonna get another great play from him. Well, it just shows every time the ball is in the Flames half, you just see a player from the Flames spray jumping or panicking a touch when there's not even a shot incoming. And on the opposite side of the end, you see the Bears are calm, cool, and collected because they haven't seen any really big threats from the Flames.
The Bears are doing such a great job of counterattacking and just punishing the defensive overextensions from the Flames like you're talking about. And that's been the secret to their success all series long, that redirect!
Sadik! What? Wait, there's no way he... So basically, he pre-flips and gets a redirect with the back of his car. If that's not play of the week worthy, I don't even know what that is. I've never even hit a shot like that in my life. What is this?
Somebody call a physics professor and explain that one. That's a thesis statement right there. Tag taking that out of his own backfield, wants to do something like that. But the Bears still have a 1-point lead, and they're happy to play with it. The respawn, Tag's got to deal with this one-on-one and gets a huge clear. The boom as well. Jonesy gonna try and dig this one in, and Foster is there to save it. Jonesy wanted that redirect, wanted to emulate Sadik, but instead this one's gonna be a dribbler, gonna stall right in front of the net and get cleared away.
And I mean, if you're the Flames, you know, that one play by Sadik is just such a momentum booster. As you see it there, Sadik gets a good almost demo play, not able to get the second demo. But it's just this mentality that he now has is that, hey, I just hit the best thing here, and I just put Jonesy and all of the work he did in the previous games to bed. And now they might have the mentality really to win this game 5.
Tag wanted that. That would have been a highlight reel had it gone in. He was looking to show that he belongs on Pulse for freestyling. Sadik moving back around, trying to defend this one out. Jonesy buying a lot of time. He's got the goal lead. All you got to do is keep it down for 20 seconds. The time is ticking away. You've got game 5, 1 goal ahead. And the Flames really know they've got to get the afterburners going. They've got to get the gas churning, the throttle open. The ball's going to cross the net. Not going to be a scoring opportunity yet. Down to 0 seconds. A pinch going to keep it alive for the moment, but a tough bounce. Sadik with the dribble out to the corner. Not going to bounce up. The Bears take game 5.
And I got to just say, you know, as much as the Bears played well, you got to give it to the one play that really defined that last minute or last couple seconds there was really tagged with the boost management skills. At the end of that game, Sadik had no boost for that whole final sequence because of a great boost start by Tag on the corner boost of the Flames, and just because of that, the Flames had no opportunity to really punish, especially with that one center that Foster had. The reason Sack wasn't there was because he had no boost, and as a result, that Bears get a huge 4-1 win that they were really needing. And you know what? Maybe they were hibernating in Game 2, like you said.
Well, before we move out of this one, I do want to revisit what I think is probably the hottest goal of this entire set, coming out of the Flames.
I'd be an understatement, honestly.
This little tiny opportunity. Okay, we got the good dunk right there. That was the wave dash flick upwards for the pass.
And you got to give it, to the Bears. They had a great use of teamwork, and it felt like they were working more as a team on the offensive end than the Flames were. Because while Jonas was being more of a offensive presence and doing all the scoring and setups, Tag was doing the little minute details such as, stealing the boost. He starved probably Sack multiple times on that last game especially, and also making the defenders panic in situations where Jonas or himself could follow up and punish. So you got to say in the end, Bears were just winning the mental battle over the Flames, and they really deserve this win in the end.
All right, so we got to really hand it to the Bears, though. They earned themselves 4 victories. The Flames took 1, getting their win record a little tiny bit higher. But we're going to go to a quick intermission, and we are also going to be back with some Premier League action. So thank you very much. This has been MLE, featured by APM Music.